Hello YouTube, welcome to Just My Opinion UK. Today I am bringing you a special video. This video has been requested by Tom Anderson. Tom has asked me he would like to purchase 3 watches to start his very own watch collection. Now Tom hasn't given me a budget, he's just asked my opinion on 3 watches. Now I'm bringing you the 3 watches that are actually in my collection. Now I'm showing you these 3 watches more to give you a criteria than, particular watches to go for. What you want to go for is entirely up to you, Tom. I'm just giving you my opinion on where you should go, what you should be looking for. Now, it's in my opinion that every good watch collection should include a chronograph. Just my opinion. A chronograph for me is it's a cornerstone in any good watch collection. I use this on a regular basis. I love the chronograph feature. This is of course the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch, the caliber 1861 manual line movement. I have reviewed this watch in some depth, so take a look. Now, I do believe that a collection should have a chronograph. So for me, there was only one chronograph I was ever going to get, which is the classic, the iconic Omega, the Omega Speedmaster Professional, the Moonwatch. This to me is the iconic chronograph. This is the chronograph to go for, in my opinion. And like I've said, every watch collection should have a chronograph in it. But that is just my opinion. It might not do it for you, but I would go for chronograph. That would be my starting point. I have recommended this watch as a starting point for every collection. Anybody who's looking to get into the first quality watch, this is the watch to buy, in my opinion. It's the Hesalite glass, the non-display back, and this is the traditional Moonwatch. Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch, or Man on the Moon as it's known. Super cool watch. Now this to me should be in everybody's collection, unless of course you don't like it, but I just can't see what there is not to like. It's just a super cool watch. So yeah, every watch collection should have a chronograph in it, in my opinion. And with every watch collection you should also have a diving watch. Now again, I have gone for a classic. I have gone for the ROLEX SUBMARINER. I've gone for the date version. This is the Hulk, so it's the green dial and green bezel. Now, obviously, I did used to have the no date sub, but I did actually sell that one, seeing as I got this one. No date sub, Hulk, date sub, whichever one you want to go for, you can't go wrong. A steel sports Rolex, you're not going to go wrong. For me, it's the ultimate dive watch to own. Yeah, sure, you can, if you're working a bit more on a budget, then you can look at the SEAMASTERs and you can look at the Planet Oceans, but for me it's got to be the ROLEX SUBMARINER. Now again, I like my tool watches, as you can see from the collection. I would say every good collection should include at least one diving watch, even more if possible. I do have more diving watches, but this is my main diving watch. This is the one that I would put at the top of the tree. And to be honest, this is the crown jewel in my collection. I don't have any watch that is above this. This is my my best, the best watch I own, and that is the Rolex Submariner, 300 meters. It's the Hulk version. Now, when I say Hulk version, that is just the green, as you can see in the video. It's you can get the black one, you can get the no date. It's entirely up to you, but my recommendation, Tom, is to get a diver's watch in your collection. That is a must. It's a day-to-day watch. It takes some beating. I've had this watch on most days now since I bought it. Absolutely love it. Very cool watch. Now this one isn't particularly a watch I'm going to say get. This is one that is in my collection for now. I am looking to sell this watch. Now, the reason why I've put this one in the collection here to show you is this watch is representing the GMT. obviously it is a chronograph, it is a diver's watch, but this has the GMT. This is actually the Swiss Army knife of watches. This is a diver's watch. It's a chronograph. It's got date window. It's got the GMT movement. It's got everything. You know, it's got everything that the Rolex has and everything that the Speedmaster has. This is a full-blown tool watch. Very, very cool tool watch. The reason I'm selling is simply because it's just a little bit big for me. It's a 44mm case, so it's quite a chunky beast. What I would like to do is I'm looking to let this watch go and replace it with the Rolex GMT Master 2, the blue and black version, the Batman. So I would like to have the Speedmaster, the Rolex Submariner, and I'd like to have the Batman sat here one day in place of this one. I do believe that every good watch collection should have one chronograph, one diver, and one GMT. Now, you also should have, ideally, you should have a dress watch in there as well. Now, me personally, I'm not a dressy person. I'm not one for, I'm not one for getting dressed up and going out for fancy parties and things like that. So a dress watch for me is a little bit of a waste of time. I like them. I think, there's a lot of really attractive dress watches out there. It's just not my cup of tea. I prefer my tool watches. Hence why I've suggested these three. These are the three. You asked me, Tom, what would I do? What would be the criteria for 3 watches to start a collection? It has to be chronograph, diver's watch, GMT. It has to be. That has to be the 3 sort of cornerstones. If you're going to go for a 4th, you would go for a dress watch. You would want to add a dress watch to this. Now, dress watch wise, I've got to say I really like the is it Jaeger LeCoultre. I think some of their dress watches are stunning. I'm not a fan of the Omega dress watches, the DeVilles and things that I'm not a fan, and I'm not a fan of the Rolex dress watches either, to be honest. I've got to say that if it comes to dress watches, I'm much more into the classic sort of stuff, the Jaeger LeCoultre, the Patek Philippe and things like that. But I mean, you are into big money. You are looking at big money for these watches, which again is one of the reasons why I don't collect dress watches. The ones that I like are very, very expensive, ridiculously expensive. So hence why I don't own them, because I would much rather own 2 or 3 watches for the price of, one Patek Philippe. Which is my view. Some people think differently. Some people would want to have the Patek in their collection. Me personally, I don't. I would never wear it. I'd never use it. And my rule is, if I don't use it, I don't wear it, I sell it. There's no point of owning the watch if you're not going to wear it. But that is just my opinion. So like I've said, in your collection, to start a watch collection, for me, you need to have the chronograph. You need to have the chronograph, you need to have the GMT, and you need to have the diver. And I don't think you can go wrong with, if I was putting my top, my 3 perfect watches in this collection, it would be Man on the Moon, the Moon Watch, chronograph. So this watch here ticks the chronograph box. The Rolex Submariner, that ticks the diver's watch box. And here I would have the Rolex GMT Master 2, the black and blue Batman. If I had the Batman in this collection, to me, this would be the ultimate collection. This would be the ultimate 3 tool watches and the start of the perfect collection, in my opinion. No doubt there'll be people that will disagree. I'm a very, very loyal Omega person, to be honest. I love Omega. I would have nothing at all against. Putting a Planet Ocean here, but the Rolex has the edge. The Rolex is super cool. To me, the Rolex has the edge. It's the best diver's watch of all time. That's why it's in my collection. This one, it's a fantastic watch. It's a really cool tool watch, but it's just a bit busy. The Omega may be trying a bit too hard on this one. it's representing the GMT. It's the only GMT I own. This is the one that I'd like to sell, and I would like to get the Rolex GMT2 Master, the GMT Master 2, the black and blue, the Batman version. Super cool watch, and I think if I had that in this collection, that would be, you know, it would be the perfect three. It would be the perfect collection. Add into that a Jaeger LeCoultre dress watch. To me, you've got the ultimate collection. You've got the ultimate 4 watches, and that, you know, that's what it's all about. It's what makes you happy. It's what, you know, what watches float your boat. What watches tick your boxes. These 3 watches do it for me. I've also got the Tudor Black Bay, which I'm in the process of selling, and mainly because I want to sell the Tudor Black Bay and this watch to buy the Batman. I'm trying to shrink my collection down and keep it, you know, keep it filled with high quality rather than quantity. Having said that, I am keeping a few of my low-end watches because, you know, they're worthless and I love them. You know, I absolutely love some of my low-end watches. I think they're super cool. So yeah, in answer to your question, Tom, this is how I would play it. I would have a chronograph, I would have a divers, and I'd have a GMT. That would be my 3 starter watches. The next one you'd go for would be a dress watch. If you were to only ever own 4 watches in your life, 4 watches in your collection, you'd have to have chronograph, diver, GMT, and a dress watch. That would be your 4 watch bases covered. On from there, that's when you would start adding to the collection. You know, you, instead of having 1 chronograph, you'd have 2. You know, you might add another Speedy, you might add something like a Rolex Daytona. You could look down the Breitling route. You know, you can add another chronograph. You can look at SEAMASTERs for the divers. You can look at Planet Oceans. You can look at the Oris. You know, you've got some other options. You know, you can go down the Rolex route and look at the Sea Dweller and things like that. When it comes to the GMT, obviously you've got the Rolex GMT Master 2, the black and blue. You've got the GMT Master 2, just the plain black one. You've got the Explorer 2. You've also got the Planet Ocean GMT. You've got the SEAMASTER GMT. You've got some options on the GMT side. So, you know, for me, the 3 bases covered: chronograph, diver, GMT. That will be the cornerstones to cover. If though you've got change afterwards to buy yourself a nice, you know, Jaeger LeCoultre dress watch, something, you know, or you know, if you've got loads of money and money isn't a problem and you can afford to get a Patek Philippe, you know, that would be your 4th watch. That would be, to me, the perfect collection. Omega chronograph, Rolex diver, Rolex GMT, and a Patek Philippe dress watch. That would be the perfect 4 watches in any collection. You would never have to collect another watch as long as you live if you own those 4 watches. They are, in my opinion, the 4 heavy hitters in this sector. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this has answered your question. Please subscribe to the channel, take a look at my other videos, and if you guys want any reviews doing, let me know. Thank you for watching. This is Just My Opinion UK, saying good night to you all.